Oh God. Yeah. So it is it's cold. It's cold.
It's absolutely cold.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Yeah. Yeah.
negative 14 degrees here, to be specific.
With the wind chill or without the wind chill?
With the wind chill. And it's difficult because I live in an old house. And for people who don't live in old
Mm.
houses, you have windows that are great. They're fine. But for those
Yeah.
of us who live in old houses, you have to put this like plastic wrap over your window.
Yeah.
And then you have to like shrink wrap it with a blow dryer. I use my giant space heater, which you're not supposed to do. I take a
Fair.
giant space heater and it shrink wraps your windows.
Okay. That's interesting. I mean, that's a fast way of doing it, I guess.
If it works, it works. But normal people here aren't worried about shrink wrapping their windows and standing on chairs because there's this like you have to put the tape and then you have to pull the tape and then you have to, it's a
Mhm.
whole ordeal. It takes like 30 minutes a window, but it cuts your
Jeez.
electric bill in half.
Well, that's fair. That is fair. That's hey, if it cuts your heating and electric bill in half, then go for it. I say it, go for it. So like do you like come out of your cocoon like starting in spring?
I think it depends. Like I'm a runner and I love to hike. So
Yeah.
usually I just like throw some layers on, but the problem here is the snow turns to ice really quickly.
Mm.
And I don't want to put on my hiking spikes to like walk down the street to the little free library. There are some things that just aren't worth it.
Fair.
And so
Fair.
instead, I'm going crazy. I'm watching the Olympics. I'm like walking in place, thinking, should I buy one of these walking pads that I see on TikTok?
The ones that you have to plug in
Do you
order to
have to plug
use.
in?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
just assume that the 85-year-old lady who lives below me is not going to hear any of it. So it's like the constant like great thing about living in a 100-year-old house in New England.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hey everybody. How are you? To our one viewer right now.
You know what they're doing? They're out here lifting the world like Atlas.
Mhm. They really are. Welcome back to the show. We were we were off last week. Well, we were off here, but we still had a bunch going on. Um, and this week, we are back, and I'm joined by my good friend that I met through consuming Brandon Sanderson content, Literary Trope. How are you?
I'm doing like I said, I'm keeping warm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's like the bar right now is like is warm.
Yes. So you're watching the Olympics. What are we watching in terms of Olympic competition?
I am a huge ice dancing fan.
Okay.
So I'm watching the routines. I'm looking at how the costumes have changed
Yeah.
over the last few months. I know all the drama. And then, of course, like the entire time, I'm on threads
Yeah.
reading through people who are just confused. Like, why are they not jumping? And I mean, like, this is a different sport.
Yeah, yeah, a very, very much different sport. But yeah, so you're watching ice dancing. Have we hit curling yet?
So I can't get into curling. I can't.
Okay.
I don't know what it is. I had a former boss who was
Mhm.
super into curling, and he was also just super obnoxious. And so
Okay.
my experience with curling is turning it off when it's on TV. Because he
Fair
would
enough.
take his Chromecast and plug it into the TV in our newsroom,
Mm.
but he didn't put any security on it. So everyone who had an Android would get the remote, and so whenever he was being annoying, we'd just turn it off. So my experience with curling is primarily just turning it off.
Okay. Okay. Fair. Fair. I like that. I personally I love it. I think it's amazing. But you know, I'm more of an ice hockey guy though. So like I'm getting ready for the men's tournament. I think that started today also. Um, yeah, and then speed skating, which I did see your comment on threads where it's like, how does one know that they're a speed skater?
Did you like my
Read the
answer?
comment. Yeah, I did. You have to be born rich. Yeah, it's great.
Well, hockey's fun. I keep saying I need to get into hockey because I love going to hockey games, but I don't know any of the rules. But I know to cheer when they start fighting. And I think that's all you really need to know, right? But like curling,
Yeah,
everyone's so like upbeat and they're nice. And half the time it's just like a group of guys who met like bowling
yeah. It
who are like world champions now.
it definitely has that we're going out for beers after this mentality. Also, like drinking beers during the match mentality. And you know what? I'd be okay with that. I would be okay with that. Yeah, so this is your first time. Hopefully it won't be your last.
We'll see if that one viewer goes away.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I was hoping for more viewers, but yeah, it's all good. We get a lot on the on demand if people don't see. Yeah, so we were at Farpoint last weekend, which was an incredible experience. It's God, how do I even kick this off? This is my favorite convention that I go to. It's outside of my hometown convention, Ocean City Comic Con. James, if you're watching, maybe you're my one viewer. It's such a great convention. It started off as a Star Trek convention and then like branched into all things science fiction and comics, anime, fantasy, all that fun stuff. And God, where do I even begin? We had a panel on Saturday of Farpoint. It was our High Republic panel. We talked about Star Wars: The High Republic, in which we had one of the authors who was actually a guest at the convention. She was on the panel with us, which was a lot of fun. We had like 10 people in the room. None of them had read the books, so we had to be as spoiler free as possible. And I'm like, how do I explain the High Republic to people that haven't read it? And my Justina, who's the author, and my friend Liz, like they carried a lot of the weight, so I was kind of happy about that. We did that. I hung out with a few drag queens, which was great. We have a few drag queens in our area, and Demanda, Logan, you guys are amazing. They even did a drag show Saturday at Farpoint, like before the costume masquerade, which was pretty funny. I couldn't watch it. My wife, there goes my 3D printed Cyclops, also off my desk. My wife took pictures of the drag show because I had interviews that I had to run to on Saturday, but they're amazing. They had Ross Marquand from The Walking Dead. He's also Xavier in X-Men 97 and the Immortal in Invincible. He's really cool. He's a lot of fun. So that's my second time meeting him because I actually met him last year at AwesomeCon also. So I got him to sign an X-Men book last year, and then this year I got him to sign an Invincible book. And then, do you watch Star Trek at all?
No, but I
Okay.
know a lot of the jokes.
Okay. So they had Nurse Chapel from Strange New Worlds as a guest, also Jess Bush, and she was like talking about her career, but she also does jewelry that features ethically harvested bees.
Bees?
Yeah, bees.
Okay.
Yeah, like honeybees. And I'm like,
Okay.
this is interesting. And like, yeah, she had a bunch of the pieces like that you could get for sale if you wanted to. And then she auctioned one off for charity, and it went for like $500. Like, but it was going to charity, so I'm like, hey, raise more money for that. Like,
Are they like full bees? Like,
yeah,
I'm imagining like not like bees in amber. I'm imagining taxidermy bees, which I know aren't a thing. Listen,
Yeah.
assuming they're not a thing, but like looped together
No, no, no,
beads
no, no,
on a
no.
necklace.
No, 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 no. Jess Bush, jewelry. Here we go. Yeah, here it is. I actually, wow, her website. Oh yeah, yeah, here it is. I'll share the screen for everybody. That way you can see it. There it is. So yes, this is it. So you see the B is like right here.
Oh, hold on. I instead of just zooming, I'm gonna lean in. I apologize, everyone.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's cool. That's cool. I was
Yeah.
thinking it's like freaky little guys, which I can also be into.
Yeah.
But
No,
I'm
no.
like,
So
these are probably like you'd sit down and you'd crush it. But that's cool.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. So like these are like ethically harvested bees like in the jewelry, which I thought was really neat and such a cool concept. So she had a few of those for sale. Yeah. Yeah. So that's her work there. It's pretty cool. So she talked about that. She talked about her career. Of course, everybody was asking Trek questions, and they're like, "So, what can you tell us about the next two seasons of Strange New Worlds?" And she's just like, "You got to watch them." Um,
This is the NDA talking.
oh, yeah. Well, like a bunch of people were asking Ross Marquand about like what's next for X Men '97 and Invincible, and he's like, "I can't tell you anything. Like, I can't. Like, yeah." And then like I talked to Justina Ireland and I was like, "Oh, so what's next for you?" And she's just like, "Well, I'm staying away from writing Star Wars for a bit." And I was like, "Fair." Fair. You spent a long time doing that. Yeah, the costume masquerade was great. I am going to be posting more photos of that on Instagram, but that was just it was really fun to watch. All the creativity and everything. Um, and just seeing their passion for cosplay, right? Like, well, you experienced your first convention back in December, so you got to see some cosplay and you cosplayed too.
I did. I had my very low effort cosplay. My goal for Nexus was I'm going to cosplay, but everything I wear is going to be something I can wear again.
Mm-hmm.
And also needs to fit in my suitcase and still be under 50 pounds when I get home.
Awesome.
So there are people there with absolutely like gorgeous, unique costumes. And then what I was thinking the second I stopped, like the second I passed them, I'm like, how many suitcases did you bring? How did you get that here? I was thinking of all logistics and I was talking to people and they're like, oh yeah, well, between my wife and I, we brought 3 suitcases
Nah.
because that's the max the airline would let us bring.
All right.
And
All right.
meanwhile, like I was thinking of bringing a backup outfit because I'm
Yeah.
paranoid and that's what I do. And I was standing on my scale, weighing the individual pieces of clothing and going, this skirt is 3 pounds. I'm not bringing it. But just the dedication was amazing. You have people with, like
Yeah.
smoke machines built
Oh
into
yeah.
here. I don't know how people, it's, I guess this says a lot about me. Like the first thing I thought were like logistics, like not how do
Yeah.
you make that, but like how did you get that here? How
Yeah.
did you fit in an Uber?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, at that point, you should also like if you're gonna make that trek out there, like, and you're afraid of like wait for luggage, take the train. Like that's what I would say too. Like just I'm not you personally, but like those other people, like take the train. Like I know it you have to leave a couple of days beforehand, but I don't know. But that it is crazy. It's crazy the amount of detail. Um, there was this lady that entered the masquerade in like the champions category, and she had like this whole like blue headdress that was like retro sci-fi. I mean, it was gorgeous, but like I was thinking, how did you not like break that? Like, how did you not break that? Um, yeah. So yeah, it was a good weekend. It was a good weekend. I got a bunch of interviews done, met a bunch of people, which was great. We had our panel, and then we ran our RPG that Sunday night. So yeah, it was a long weekend, but it was fun. Anyway, I'm gonna shut up for a little bit.
No, I love hearing about these other conventions because you're trying to convince me to go to more.
Like,
And I was literally Googling New England like conventions the other day
yeah,
to try to figure it out. And the thing I just kept coming up with, everything was too like comic based for my
yeah,
interests.
mhm,
I'm like, I want to go to a convention and actually like know what I'm going there for.
yeah. This one's interesting because there's a lot of literary guests as well. Like they get a lot of author guests, and like a lot of their programming is literary. So I pitched a Brandon Sanderson Cosmere panel for Farpoint, and it did get rejected. But I think had it gotten accepted, I think a lot of people might have been there for it. Because like it's interesting to see sci-fi readers. Like you ask somebody, you're like, okay, what are you into? And like a lot of them are like, well, I've read a bunch of Star Trek books, and now I'm trying to like branch into other things. Um and I'm like, oh yeah, Star Trek books are cool, which they are. They're very entertaining. And a lot of people have actually just experienced Trek through that and not watching TV shows. So yeah, this one I think would be kind of up your alley. Plus, it's also very small, because they get maybe 2,000 people for the entire weekend, which is a lot less than Nexus.
I was really worried about feeling just completely lost the entire
Yeah,
time I was at Nexus, and luckily that didn't happen. I think a
yeah,
mental barrier I have here is I live in Connecticut, so I'm right between Boston and New York City.
yeah,
And just everything that happens in the city just seems so incredibly overwhelming.
yeah,
And everyone just talks about how, especially like Comic Con, there is just
yeah,
like you're shoulder to shoulder the entire time.
yeah. Um, we have Awesome Con in our area. It's in DC, and that can be very overwhelming too, and like very overstimulating, especially this year with the amount of guests that they have. Like they have an entire Firefly reunion minus like two people. Yeah,
That's going to
yeah.
be packed. It's going to be absolutely
Oh,
packed.
oh yeah. They've got they of course like they just booked one of the Stranger Things guys, so like they're doing that. And then of course they have a bunch of voice actors. Like they have three cast members from X-Men 97. They've got they just booked Critical Role people too, like four people from Critical Role. So it's just it's crazy. Like I would just do small cons for a bit and see what you think. But this one's a lot of fun. You see a lot of Trek cosplay, of course, but I saw like a lot of I saw a couple of Star Wars cosplays. I saw um, a couple of Stargate SG1 cosplays too. Like I was like, wow, but that's getting a reboot again. Yeah, and then they have people from various conventions that this convention partners with. Like it's wild, but it's in a hotel, so it's like one big nerdy house party for an entire weekend in a hotel. It's
I
great.
keep getting ads for Awesome Con. I'll tell you that. Like every time I'm on Instagram, I'm like, where the heck is this? And of course, the ads like never say where something is.
Yeah, I'll send you the info for Awesome Con if you're interested in it. But
I'm interested in looking at it. That's as much
yeah,
as I can commit right now.
yeah, fair, fair. It's like I said, it's a huge convention. Like it's it's 3 days of guests, gaming, cosplay, all sorts of stuff. Like you walk into the gaming room and you're like, "Oh, maybe some of these people should have showered beforehand." But yeah, um, let's talk about you for a little bit. For our viewers who don't know you, just tell us a little bit about you and what you do.
What
Like
I do.
with content creation. I mean, sorry.
Yeah, so I do a little bit of everything with content creation. So
Mhm.
I am a Cosmere content creator. So I have been reading Cosmere books for 17 years this year, which is really wild for me to think about. It started in high school where some friends and I were entering this English competition that was statewide called English Quest. And one of the categories was you had to make a movie trailer based on a book on this list. And my friend was he wanted to be a producer. He actually does some sort of like work in the movie industry now. So shout out to Jackson. Sorry I've plastered your face on the internet. But we made probably the most cringeworthy, low budget Mistborn movie trailer that you could do. But we thought we were serving. And so it involved, like, for Miss Cloaks, we literally tied, I used to get complimentary blankets on Delta flights.
Yeah.
We literally tied blankets over our shoulders and thought we were the coolest things ever. So,
did you cut strips into them?
No, we didn't. No. It was just straight up blankets. And we just spent like hours and hours in Adobe Premiere Pro. And then, like, the night before, our video got corrupt. Like, it was so much drama. It was so much drama. There were like 3 love triangles happening on our little set that was mostly filmed in someone's basement, which I think is like an experience everyone needs to have during their formative years. So
agreed.
So you can look back and be like a little embarrassed, but also realize that you were committed, like you were locked in. And so, so a few years ago, I moved across the country during the pandemic. And of course, like, couldn't really meet friends during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And I think my 2 Cosmere friends got really tired of me sending them streams of theories and memes that were only going to 2 people.
Yeah.
And we started talking, actually, like, every friend group at some point has had the should we start a podcast conversation.
Yes.
So a few of us friends, we started talking about it, and we're talking about what to name it. And I was really pushing for a literary trope. And to prove my point that it was the superior name, I decided to go out on social media and claim the handles.
Love it.
And then, of course, like, we never did the podcast, but I had the handle. Yeah. So that's kind of how I got there. But people probably know me through Crazy Theories, a weekly Word of Brandon series I do, or a Starlight impression that I honestly didn't think anyone was ever going to find entertaining outside of me.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
And when I went to Nexus, it was crazy because people were just like, Starlight! Like, we see you in our mind when we're reading your Starlight. And I'm like, so I'm a brunette Starlight, but you guys get mad when I wear a teal dress instead of a pale blue one if I'm playing Syl. But we're okay with a brunette Starlight, so I'm fine with that. Yeah. So that's a lot of people either find me through Starlight or through the weekly Word of Brandon.
Nice. I love it. So I want to ask this real quick. I'm still fairly new to the Cosmere. I started in late 2023 with it. But I have to ask, what is your favorite Sanderson Cosmere novel?
I hate when people ask me this question because it changes. I do think, I hate to be like, I'm such a Final Empire girly in some ways, because that was my entry point. And when people ask me my reading order, I say it was really simple because at the time there were only 5 books.
Yeah.
You had the original Mistborn trilogy, you had Warbreaker, and you had Elantris. So no one was arguing about Stormlight versus Mistborn. I think, though, most of my favorite, it has to be like Mistborn for nostalgia reasons. And probably The Hero of Ages, because it just has some really awesome scenes. You have Vin fighting the Inquisitors. You have Ellen kind of figuring out what the heck he's doing and coming into himself. You have them dancing at a ball when he pulls out a book. Like, 16-year-old me was just melting the entire time over that. 15, 16-year-old me. I mean, even now I melt over that. So I just think it's really sweet. And if I were to pick, I have to go, like, I'm literally looking at my Sander shelf right now thinking, kind of like sorting through things. And I think a lot of us are Words of Radiance girlies too. Just because that one has so many iconic moments in it.
It does. It really does, yes.
But I'm curious, because what are your favorites?
So my favorite Mistborn novel is actually The Alloy of Law. Like I'm an Era 2 guy. Like I love Era 2. I think it's better than Era 1, honestly. But I don't get me wrong, like I love Final Empire. I mean, Kelsier was my boy up until I started reading about the other stuff with Kelsier, and I'm like, "Ugh, you're not my boy anymore." Um, I love that one. My favorite, so I'll give you that one. My favorite standalone is actually Isles of the Emberdark. And you and I kind of talked about this because I love that book. And then my favorite Stormlight is actually Oathbringer.
That's a hot
Because
take.
but I love You Cannot Have My Pain. Like that speech is so good. Like that speech is so good. How is it a hot take? Do a lot of people not like it?
For a lot of people, they say Oathbringer is the weakest Stormlight Archive book for them. And I can kind of see that because there's not really like a lot of iconic moments in it,
Yeah,
in my opinion.
I
And
get
Rhythm
it.
of War, I don't love Rhythm of War,
Yeah,
but like Rhythm of War, chapter 50, Queen, Yasna Cullen saying Wit Harsher,
yeah.
like fundamentally changed my brain chemistry. So that scene
Mhm.
alone kind of carries Rhythm of War for me.
Yeah. So I want to ask you, what did you think of Wind and Truth?
I love Wind and Truth.
Okay.
And I will get this statement out of the way first.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Um, my point of view and the things I have heard, the people who say that if someone says, I absolutely hated Wind and Truth, it's usually a far right dog whistle.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. I didn't hate it. I really enjoyed it. I felt there's one character's death that I thought just they kind of just breezed through. But in order to set it up later, like at the end in the final confrontation,
Yeah,
the
and
one
that
character,
character,
yeah.
I 1000% knew that character was not making it out of that book alive
Oh
before I
no,
went
neither
into
did
it.
I mean, I felt the same way, but I feel like they kind of just rushed the death before they did the setup. That to me was like the one thing I didn't like about it. Um, Also that night, the storm wall. Come on, that dude in the Battle of the Shattered Plains, like every time he showed up, my fist was in the air. I was like, let's go, let's do it. I love that. Oh man, he knows how to write an action sequence. He just knows how to write action. He's great. Um, what's what is your favorite series?
Again, like I hate to say, I
Okay,
feel like
that's fine.
the original Mistborn for me has a lot of
Yeah,
nostalgia.
no,
And
I get it.
I always tell people, I'm like, nostalgia really has an impact for me, at least, because
Yeah,
as a teenager, I did not grow up in a healthy home. And so for me, like I read Vin, I latched onto that, and I literally just read that trilogy pretty much over and over and over again with
love
some
it.
Elantris thrown in to mix it up.
Yeah.
But for me, it's been hard for me to get too attached to Wax and Wayne. And I think this will
Mhm.
probably be different now moving on.
Yeah.
Because for people who are newer to the fandom, Wax and Wayne has always been there.
Yeah.
For those of us who've been in here longer, we know that Alloy of Law was an oops baby.
Yeah.
Okay. Alloy of Law was not supposed to exist. Brandon
Mhm.
was like, I'm going to write a novella. That happened. And he's like, ooh, I really like these characters. And so a lot of us back then it was supposed to be three trilogies
Yeah.
in the Mistborn, saga.
Yeah.
And so last year was probably the time I finally stopped referring to Ghostbloods as Era 2. And I
Mhm.
mostly did that because I was getting ratioed whenever I would say Era 2 or would say things like Wax and Wayne doesn't really count. Because when you look at those three main eras, Wax and Wayne still isn't one of them.
Yeah.
So for me, Wax and Wayne has some frustration because I
Mhm.
often was like, all right, Brandon, like wrap it up,
Let's go.
finish this, because we've been waiting a long time to figure out what the heck is actually happening in the more plot relevant Cosmere-wide series. And I'm careful with how I say that, because a lot of people love Wax and Wayne, and I like it too. But as they've come out, I've just been like, okay, Brandon, do this next thing that you were supposed to do 17 years ago. And so now, whenever a new secret project comes out or we get the Mistborn movie news, the first thing my brain goes to is, honestly, this man will do anything to get out of writing Ghostbloods.
And that's what it feels like.
Sometimes he does. And so that's the thing for me. I'm like, oh, we're getting another Wax and Wayne book. And then, you know, plot lines were shuffled around a lot. But for me, it's hard to go into Wax and Wayne and kind of take it too seriously as far as big plot moments in the overall Cosmere.
Yeah, it kind of just stays on Scadrial. It's like a Scadrial thing. And I see that.
And there's nothing wrong with that
at
all.
No. That's why I think I like it a little bit more, because it just kind of separates itself from the overall story. I mean, you get some of the overall story, especially like in the later novels, but like I just like it because it's kind of like its own self-contained thing. And there's not a lot of homework with that one outside of just reading Mistborn. Like, but don't get me wrong, like I love the homework, but at the same time it feels a little daunting at times because there's just a lot. There's just a lot.
There is a ton, and I always feel bad when someone asks a question and they answer it with something very specific and niche, and someone's like, oh my gosh, I totally mixed that in the book. And I'm like, because it's not. Or it's in this tiny little short story that you don't have to read.
Yeah. That's why people are like, should I read Arcanum Unbounded? And I was like, if you want to.
Yeah, like if you want, there's some good stuff in there, but it's interesting. But yeah, I remember the days where the third Wax and Wayne book, to save my life, I cannot name them in order. I don't know what it is about Wax and Wayne that just is this like fog in my mind. But the third one, you know, you get the big reveal. You know, you see that statue and you're like, ugh, and everyone remembers where they were. And then on the final page, on the other side of the page, was information about Mistborn's secret history in a website.
Yeah.
And so I don't know when that changed, and that page isn't in newer editions. But for me, the way that people just now know about secret history and the fact that it exists blows my mind, when you literally like had to get to the final page in a book and then follow a link and download the book for like 99 cents off of Amazon, and you couldn't find it any other way.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me. And I have to constantly remind myself that things that we had to wait forever for, people just come in knowing now.
Oh, I know. I know. My buddy Joey got me into Sanderson, and pretty much for all of 2024, we binged Stormlight. And at the end, I was like, okay, I gotta take a break. Like I gotta take a break from this, because it's great, but when you binge it like that, it's a lot. It can be a lot. So I commend you and the other bingers. Did that sound right?
That's right. It's not the worst thing I've been called.
I didn't mean to insult you.
No, you don't. I think, and I'm not one of those people where I just like spend my entire time rereading them. I definitely have like my cycles and my notes. If you want to talk about like Emberdark, I started putting sticky notes every time there was a lore drop or something I wanted to go back to.
Yeah.
There are so many sticky notes that I went over them on an Instagram live once, and it took an hour and a half to get through them.
Jeez. It's a chock full lore heavy book.
There's not really like plot. I mean, there's plot to it, and it's important plot, but it's like 30% plot and 70% like, excuse me, Brandon? The what?
It's so good. It's so good.
We have awakened metal minds now.
Who'd have thunk? Yeah, that's awesome. What are your other fandom interests outside of the Cosmere?
I read kind of a little bit of everything. I say a
Okay.
little bit of everything, but then it's not thrillers. But
Fair.
I love the Gideon the Ninth books.
Hmm.
Absolutely adore Gideon the Ninth. If anyone else is a fan, whenever Tor publishes stuff, please be nice to them and stop spamming their comments with if they have like secret Electo news. I think you're traumatizing their social media manager. I love Maggie Stiefvater books.
Okay.
So she's kind of known for the Raven Cycle books, which are absolutely excellent. Her standalone, The Scorpio Races, is probably one of my top 5 favorite things of all time.
Uh-huh.
I am also a Sarah J. Maas girly. I stay off that side of the internet because the fans honestly like scare me now.
Okay.
And there's just kind of like little things here and there and authors that I think need to be hyped more.
Hmm.
But yeah, a lot of, Cosmere is kind of a good space to be in because for the most part, like people are not crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there are other things out there I'm trying to get into. And some of them's just like, that was a good series. And then there's this huge community around it that I'm like, I'm not really going to touch that. Like, I love Red Rising, but I'm going to let
Yeah.
those guys like be in their corner.
I I'm about halfway through Dark Age right now in Red Rising, and I'm like, I love this series, but these fans are they're great, but like you said, just I'm good. I'll be a casual fan of this thing. Like, I'll enjoy it, but
Yeah. Yeah, I love the Alice Thicke series by Libby Blake.
mhm.
I'm trying to like the other things she's written. So I'm going to be, and they've been kind of after
Yeah,
that, but I have Girl Dinner up next. And if I don't like Girl Dinner, I'm probably giving up on her.
fair.
But I always have to like I always have to look at my bookshelf. I'm like, what do I like to read? I have 3 gigantic signed posters on my wall of the original Shades of Magic
Hmm.
covers.
Cool.
Absolutely obsessed with E. Schwab. They're amazing. I'm like, what do I like to read? While these posters are literally like staring at me from an entire wall. I wish so much that we finally get the Six of Crows sequel series
Yeah,
for the Grishaverse stuff. And I think that fans also might be scaring her off a little bit. But one of my life updates that I have purposely not posted on social media
fair. So we're
because
getting exclusive.
you're getting an exclusive right here, an
Okay.
exclusive plus like one person in my DMs. Um,
Okay.
I started Dungeon Crawler Carl.
I did too.
It's my gem book right now. And I'm so afraid to post anything about it because A, it's going to screw my algorithm up and I'm going to end up
Yeah.
seeing spoilers. And I'm a big person I'm very big into there's a lot of personal accountability when it comes to not
Yes.
coming across spoilers on social
Yeah.
media.
I agree.
But also at Nexus, people were asking Mark Dinneman his advice. And the first thing he said was use a pen name because
Yeah.
I'm having to move because fans are like showing up to my house and
Jeez.
approaching my daughters in grocery stores. And so the first introduction I had to the series was my friend who, a Cosmere friend who was like, you really need to get into this. It's great. But then my second impression has been the author talking about fans harassing him.
Yeah.
And that's making me a little hesitant to dive into them.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, I get it because I think people forget that that person is a person and you know needs their privacy. Like, and I totally understand where you're coming from with that. Yeah, I just started it too, and it's different.
Yeah, it's different, and we'll see how I wind up thinking about
Yeah.
it. So I ride an exercise bike when I'm at the gym, and so
Hmm.
I need something that's going to be smooth enough where I'm going to retain information when my heart rate's like 160, but also isn't going to make me cry in public.
Okay, so no Star Wars books for you at
So
the gym.
probably not.
Okay.
I don't know if you've read any of the Wayfarer books by Becky Chambers.
No, no,
They
I
are
haven't.
absolutely excellent. They're quasi cozy, but she had a novella that's called "To Be Taught If Fortunate." That's about some of the first humans that are sent into space and sent to these other solar systems to record things about planets. And they leave knowing they're not going to come back for 70 years.
Wow.
In Earth time. And so it's very emotional. And the ending is also extremely emotional, more so than I was expecting. And so I was doing inclined walking on the treadmill, crying at the gym on the cardio mezzanine, trying to act like it was sweat because of the things this book was sharing, like about the shared human condition.
Yeah.
And I don't cry usually when I read, and I'm like, okay, we're gonna. So if anyone else is watching this, please let me know if Dungeon Crawler Carl is gonna make me cry.
Well, when we get further in the series, you and I can find out together.
We will find out, and that's why I was going through like all of the Percy Jackson books.
Yeah.
Because there's a zillion of them, and I know they're not going to make me cry.
Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty cool. Is there like are there series that you want to try, but like you're kind of intimidated to try because like the amount of like books that have been published like around that thing? Or
I think my barrier was Wheel of Time.
Yeah.
And so last year I read Wheel of Time.
Mm-hmm.
I only read the first 2 books. I gave myself permission after that to DNF because it's weird because it's not even that I didn't really like it, it's that I wasn't connecting with it.
Yeah.
And the way I've explained my experience with it is I feel like I had to have been there.
Yeah.
Because Robert Jordan was brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Man was brilliant. But the problem is because he essentially invented these very popular tropes, right?
Yeah, he did.
So the problem is you go into it now and you're like, chosen one, okay, prophetic dreams, prophecies, and you're reading it and kind of rolling your eyes a little bit because if the books were to come out today, they'd probably be review bombed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
First
yeah,
one.
Sure. Yeah.
But the problem is he originated these tropes. Like the man is pretty brilliant. And I do have issues with like all of the main characters, and especially the women kind of being the same character. And people just kept saying like, read the first 5 and then it gets good. And I just wasn't getting to that point. It wasn't that I wasn't enjoying it. It was just, I would have rather been reading something else.
Yeah.
But it's kind of hard now, I feel like as a modern reader, to read something that was so pivotal and groundbreaking, but that feels tired when it shouldn't, but just because of context.
Yeah.
I was still sad when the show got canceled though.
Oh yeah, me too.
And I was still mad about changes that they made.
Oh, especially in that first season. Yeah.
So, I mean, even in that first episode, I was like, wait, what? Like, what's happening? But I was trying to read that one on the bike too and not retaining anything. And so for probably about 100 pages, I thought they were children. I don't know why. I just had the impression that they were children. And then I was messaging a friend during the first episode and I'm like, did they add this land guy for the show? I don't know why. I just didn't retain any of it.
Yeah. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I finished the first book. I got about halfway through the second Wheel of Time book, and then I said, you know what, I'm good if I don't finish this. Like, it's cool, but yeah, I'm the same way right now.
Yeah, I feel like you had to have been there.
Yeah, or like, yeah, like you had to have grown up in that time that it was being published. Yeah, I agree. Let's see here. Well, let's talk a little bit about news, and then we're going to talk about fandom for a bit. How's that sound?
Sounds great. I love news.
Yeah. So we have 2 pieces of news. Josh D'Amaro, who is the chairman of Disney Parks Experiences, is now going to be CEO of the Disney Company. He is going to be replacing Bob Iger starting in March. Iger is out at the end of the year. He is the Disney Experiences chairman, which he oversees all Disney parks, including Disney Cruise Line, as well as Disney Imagineering. This is going to actually tie into our next story. How do you feel about Bob Iger leaving, or have you been really following this?
Yeah, I mean, there's a few thoughts I have on that. And first
Sure.
of all, I mean, I think a lot of us have a lot of opinions on their use of AI
Yes.
and encouraging users to use AI, because I think that sets a very dangerous precedent. But when I was talking to a friend a few days ago about it, and she's very much into Disney.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, it just kind of seems like we are going from one white dude to another white dude.
We are.
And she's like, essentially, we are. And I'm like,
Yeah,
that's what I was expecting. But I feel like Disney keeps dropping the ball on things.
they do.
And they keep caving to pressure that I'm also worried is setting a precedent.
I agree.
And I think the only thing that could really get me excited about this new guy is if he brings back the Acolyte, which isn't going to happen, but like that's the bar we're at right now.
Well, were you here a few weeks ago when we talked about Dave Filoni taking over Lucasfilm, the co-presidency? Okay, so Dave Filoni, who was very much involved, like in Clone Wars animated stuff, he's been involved in The Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, and the Ahsoka show. I have a feeling they could bring the Acolyte back with this creative team at Lucasfilm now, and especially with Josh D'Amaro as CEO. Don't get me wrong, like I would love to see it come back, especially as a High Republic fan, because that was like my bread and butter. As somebody that's a casual Star Wars fan, what did you think of that show before we go back to D'Amaro here?
I thought the Acolyte was brilliant.
Yeah.
And it was crazy because I was watching it and I had all these impressions. And I went to social media and saw the complete opposite of how I felt from most people.
Yeah.
And as someone, so I used to do competitive fencing. So when I watch sword fights, sometimes my brain immediately goes like, you're dead, right? Like I watch something, I'm like, you just killed yourself.
Yeah.
But the entire time I was watching the Acolyte, all I could think of is like, this is such cool fight choreography that I was nerding out. I was rewinding. I think it had so much opportunity to tell so much lore that we haven't had. But the hate campaign that started before the show even started derailed things. Again, Disney caved to pressure. You can't tell me that show had low ratings.
No, it didn't. It didn't.
And it was one of those where you watch things and you can tell if the actors are having a good time, and you could tell if the people who created it are having a good time. And that was the show. I watched it and I'm like, everyone here is having a blast. You have characters and roles I've never seen them like in before.
Yeah.
Who are killing it. And I watched the first 2 episodes feeling very much like, it's a Star Wars show. I know where this is going to go. And of course, halfway through the season, I'm like, what just happened? And then when a show just completely turns itself on its head, I love when that happens.
Yeah.
It subverted every expectation I have. And I feel like that's the reason it got canceled.
Yeah. I feel like the turning point for that season is when they're on when they fight the stranger, when they have the big fight at night with the stranger. Like that is the turning point of the series, because you realize, oh crap, the main characters aren't safe either, because 2 of them eat it in that fight. Like
I was putting together a plant stand and literally just stopped with the screws in my hand. You know, there's the meme about like the dad who's like not going to watch the show, who just like stands in the corner the entire time.
Yes.
That was me at the Acolyte, because I fully thought I was never going to finish it. Because I'm like, oh, it's a story like, oh, a little mechanic is wanted. And, you know, just kind of like the stereotypical Star Wars story. And then, I was standing there and I'm like, okay, where's the next episode? Where is it? I need it.
Yeah.
And the more we just got into the new introduction of lore, I was just so intrigued. And I realized this is the story I've been wanting to hear for a long time.
Yeah.
This is the lore that every time I would start a new Star Wars property, I was hoping we get.
Yeah. Especially with Darth Plagueis, with the Sith, all of that. You get to see the corruption of the Jedi like firsthand, like how, like, I mean, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Well, hopefully this guy will bring it back. Hopefully Hopefully they can bring it back because it deserves more. It really does deserve more. Yeah, I'm not, like you said, I'm not a fan of the AI inclusion. Maybe they can walk that back, hopefully. But we'll see. I mean, I know I have a Disney vacation in October, so yeah. Yeah, I'm hoping that they walk that back. But I wish him the best of luck. I wish him the best of luck. It's big shoes to fill.
But
Very
maybe
big
you just need someone from another part of the company to take over for a while and see where they go. But
Yeah.
I think if they're just chasing stock prices, that's where it's going to be an issue.
Yeah. One of the big things is like as a parks fan, like it's gotten like so much more expensive, and I'm hoping like they can start lowering prices again now that like you have a parks person like in charge of the company. So we'll see. Um, Speaking of bringing things back, and hopefully he greenlights this, the Muppets came back this week.
Muppets.
Did you watch it?
No, I didn't. So I think for me, the Muppets are more of like a state of mind.
Okay. I love it.
So I don't know if you ever watched the show Holy Moly on ABC.
No, I have not.
It was a summer show that was extreme mini golf. So it was
Oh
mini
yeah.
golf mixed with like Wipeout. It was
Yes.
delightful. And in the third season, they had the Muppets on for like absolutely no reason, no context. Just the Muppets were randomly commentating and doing different things. I love doing casting of a story or a show, and then you try to figure out like which Muppet would play which character and who would the human be.
Yes. I love it.
I love playing that game. My first like big Cosmere video was completely unexpected, and I just whipped out my camera and filmed a quick thing about how Starlight really should be a Muppets movie. Like, let's stop with the animation versus live action debate. And I didn't expect. I posted like the middle of a day on a Saturday. Completely blew up. And I realized I could only name like 3 Muppets.
Okay.
But I was trying to figure out who would the human be.
Yeah.
And sometimes I do that at work. Like I look at people I work with and I'm like, who has Muppet energy? And so I'm hoping we get more re-envisioning of classics.
Yes.
Because there still is the chance that the Mistborn movie could be a Muppet movie.
I would love that. I think that would be amazing, especially like Piggy as Vin. And then you have Kermit as Ellen.
Yes, I need that. I think the Sazed would have to be the human.
Yeah, because he's the no nonsense person in the book. But like a Fozzie could be like Dachshund.
Yes.
Like Sam the Eagle. What was the curmudgeon guy's name that was part of the team?
Clubs?
Yeah, that could be Sam the Eagle.
So Wax like, and Wayne, though, we have to agree Steris is the human, right?
Yeah. And then you get like Walter could be Wax. Walter from the 2011 Muppets movie could be Wax.
Maybe just instead of doing all these live actions that no one has asked for, they should just start doing them with the Muppets again.
I think it would be great. I think it would be amazing. I did see pitches for Muppets Knives Out.
Yes, I need that so bad.
And the only human is Daniel Craig.
Who may or may not even be a human.
Yeah, exactly. He is a Muppet. Like he is a real life Muppet. But yeah, like I would, and then you have Kermit as the ransom character. And then like Piggy can be the other main character in the movie. I'm blanking on her name, but Anna de Armas, I think her name is. Oh yeah, and then Sam the Eagle could be Christopher Plummer's character, like. But this was such a great revival of the Muppet Show. It was really funny. Sabrina Carpenter was actually like the perfect guest host choice for the thing. Rizzo sings Blinding Lights by The Weeknd. It is the best thing ever. And the whole special ends with them singing Queen's "Don't Stop Me Now."
That's perfect.
Yeah,
That is peak. That is peak on so
yeah.
many levels.
Oh yeah. They do a bit of Rainbow Connection at the beginning, like while Kermit's like turning on the lights in the studio and everything. Rolf's playing Rainbow Connection, and Kermit's like, "Have you been here the entire time?" And Rolf's like, "Well, somebody has to play the piano for this thing." Like, Beaker loses his eyes at one point. It's great. It's great. You should watch it. You'd love it. You'd love it. It's fun.
In between bouts of curling, I'll put the Muppets movie on during the commercials, and that's how
Nice.
I will consume it.
There you go. There you go. But this is only a half-hour special, so it's not that bad. But I do want a new Muppets movie, like even if it isn't Knives Out, but that would be perfect.
And the thing is, you know, everyone would be on board with that within like 5 seconds.
Oh yeah, because the Muppets sell. Like they sell. They do really well. Speaking of which, 3.1 million tuned in Wednesday night for the Muppets special on ABC as it was airing live. Yeah.
And you know, you can't replace the Muppets with AI. AI could never do the Muppets.
No. And that's the thing too, because like there's something so wholesome about them that they can't be replaced, like you said. Like they're perfect.
I have a friend who works in theater tech work,
Mm-hmm.
and she was telling me that it's actually kind of there's a known problem on the set of Muppet properties
Yeah.
where techs will be talking to the puppet instead of the actual like puppeteers.
Yeah.
They have to be like, you're not actually talking to Kermit. Like you need to be talking to this guy. Because they are so lifelike and people love them so much that they really just, like I said, they talk to the puppet and not anyone else.
I have to ask who your favorite Muppet is.
It has to be Miss Piggy.
Miss Piggy. I love it.
She's such an icon. How can you not choose Miss Piggy?
There's a bit in the new special where her and Sabrina Carpenter are talking, and Sabrina Carpenter keeps saying like how she modeled her look after Piggy, and Piggy's so iconic. And then Piggy keeps talking about how she's going to sue Sabrina Carpenter for like copyright infringement and like image infringement and all this other stuff. And Sabrina Carpenter's like, "Oh, you're not going to sue me, right?" And she goes, "Oh no, I'm not going to sue you, but my lawyers might." That's a whole joke in the thing.
Well, I mean, LA 2028, the opening ceremonies.
Gotta have Muppets.
We could have the Muppets there.
Considering hopefully the country's not on fire at this point. Anyway. Did I say that? Did I say that?
Maybe you have to say it a little louder for the people in the back.
Yeah. Maybe if the country's not on fire in 2028, we'll see.
As long as it melts some ice, I'm good with that.
My God, this snow needs to go. The snow needs to go. Like, I'm done.
Absolutely, 1000%.
And you got a lot more than we did down here.
But you know, you just gotta let people know when you see it.
True.
Spread that word, take that picture, put it on Instagram, push some hashtags on it.
My parents kept calling when we were having the snowstorm. My parents live in Florida. And it's been like ridiculously cold down there and everything. But like when the snow was hitting, they're like, "Oh yeah, is it snowing? How much snow have you gotten?" I'm like, "Yeah, we got about 6 to 8 inches here." And they go, "Oh yeah, it's sunny and 84 here." And I'm like, "Oh, boo-hoo. Like you get to sit out on your lanai in 84-degree weather while shoveling snow." They don't understand.
They don't. But I did spend two winters in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina during the pandemic. So I was also that person like walking on the beach at Christmas.
Like
My
60
feet in the
degree
water.
like 60-degree weather.
And then I moved up here and they're like, record snowstorm. Like,
The first time where you like something's broken, like something is broken.
well, nothing will ever be too bad because I went to college in South Dakota.
Oh,
And so
yeah.
nothing will ever be that bad ever again. But still, it can be terrible. My windshield wiper broke off my car because it was frozen to the windshield the other day. So.
Jeez. One of our RPG players is Canadian, so she's definitely feeling it right now too. Yeah.
Yeah, half of mine are in Des Moines.
Ooh.
So I get to tell them how happy I am that I don't live in the Midwest anymore.
Don't you know? I think this is going.
Now we need a Stormlight Muppet RPG run.
Oh. I do have one of my friends did send me the handbook for it, the rule book for it. We could do Stormlight Muppets.
I feel like if I were to message my GM right now and be like, can my character secretly be a Muppet? I feel like he'd be on board for that because someone asked if they could be sleepless. He said he didn't know what the handbook said, but I feel like if the handbook has something to be a sleepless or a condor, it has to have something about being a Muppet. Because Brandon loves the Muppets.
Yeah, I know he does.
That man would be a Muppet.
Do you think he like wakes up in the morning and he sings the song "Man or Muppet" like every single day from that 2011 Muppets movie?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's my second favorite Muppets movie outside of The Christmas Carol.
The Christmas Carol is really hard to beat.
Yeah, it is.
Is that somehow the most book accurate?
It actually is the most book accurate of all the Christmas Carol movies, except for them adding an extra Marley to the movie. Because
rather have an extra Marley than Perrin having a wife.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what the Wheel of Time with Muppets.
Oh God. Oh. I couldn't do Wheel of Time with Muppets. No. Muppet Lord of the Rings, maybe?
But Viggo Mortensen, bring him back.
Oh, yeah.
And he's the only non-Muppet.
Yeah. Oh my God. Miss Piggy as Arwen?
Yes.
That would be hysterical. That would be so funny.
And the Swedish chefs have to be Merry and Pippin.
Who?
The Swedish chefs dudes, right? Am I getting that right?
Oh, the Swedish chef has to be one of them. Yeah. And then Scooter could be the other one.
Yeah.
And then like I guess Kermit would be Frodo.
I can see that.
Yeah. And then who would? God, now I'm trying to think of this fellowship. That's going to be my homework for the night.
Technically, the Sesame Street characters are Muppets. I looked it up.
Yeah.
So Big Bird could be Gandalf just by sheer size.
Could you imagine? You shall not pass like Big Bird.
I absolutely can't imagine that.
It would be so bad.
I'm going to Photoshop that and send it to you.
Thank you. Do that. What was I just going to say? I forgot what I was going to say.
We were just on the Muppets.
We were just on the Muppets.
We're always going to be on the Muppets.
Yeah. I will just say, watch it. It's great. I think you'll love it. I think that you'll have a great time with it. Especially Rizzo's blinded by the light or blinding lights. God, blinded by the light. Oh my God.
You're being muppified.
I am being muppified. You did this. You did this.
I'm sorry. You did this.
You did this. Look at it. Fandom is a thing that we like to talk about sometimes. Now, you wanted to talk about gatekeeping in fandoms, and I think that is something that I mean, we've talked about it before on the show, but yeah, I would love to to hear your thoughts and what you have to say about gatekeeping in fandoms and how wrong it is to do so.
Yeah, it's wrong. I would say that there are certain levels where I'm like, you need to be a decent human being to be a part of
Yes,
this fandom.
I
I
agree.
think the internet makes it difficult.
Yeah,
I don't think we really had too much gatekeeping before the internet because
yeah.
there wasn't really a way for a lot of people to talk. And I think about, you asked me that question earlier, what properties or what series would you want to get into
Hmm.
if it wasn't daunting?
Yeah,
And honestly, like Trekkies are kind of what have turned me off of Star Trek.
yeah,
And Star Wars incels
yeah.
prevented me from getting too far into that because I found out my favorite Star Wars things are things they hated. And so even though I know these people aren't the loudest, or they're the loudest in the fandom, even though they're not the majority.
Hmm.
And so fandom in itself can create that barrier to entry for a lot of people.
I agree.
And luckily, like with the Cosmere, I feel like in general, it's a pretty welcoming space in general.
It is.
And
I
Brandon
agree.
has made it his goal to make it a welcoming space.
Hmm.
But when I first started creating content, it was interesting because I would put out a theory or do a silly piece of content or just put something out there on the internet.
Yeah.
And the top questions I would get were, have you read Mistborn? Have you read Stormlight? And I was sitting here like, I just gave you, like, I just info dumped on you.
But did you read it though?
And you're asking me, or you're recommending that I read The Cosmere, or people were in my DMs. And so it was weird because for the first time in my life, and I'd been reading these books for, over half of my life.
Yeah.
I was suddenly having to prove that I belonged in a fandom that I'd been in for forever.
Yeah.
And I started talking to other people and just like women,
Hmm.
just to like put a name to it, like women.
Yeah.
Who have kind of like started to be pushed out. And I think part of that is like toxic Reddit culture. Like I will not go on the subreddits in general. I don't go on Reddit unless I'm looking for advice on how to fix something or figure something out. But it's crazy just how there's kind of like people trying to now gatekeep in the fandom when Brandon even dedicated his Nexus 2024 speech to being like, hey, let's stop doing that. We need to be welcoming new people in because he was talking about how, you have this rise in romanticy.
Yep.
It's a whole other rant I'll have because now anything written by a woman or with a female main character is now being labeled romanticy.
Yeah.
And you have women who are coming into these series and who are, maybe getting invested in the romance more than the action part and being told like they don't belong here. I think the first insult I'll say that I received on social media was stop reading my books and go read ACOTAR. And I am like, well, I read those books years ago. I enjoy them a lot and I can enjoy this right here. And I usually just tell people to touch grass.
Yep. That's all you can say.
But when we're in a group and go back to reading romanticy or go read X, Y, and Z is used as an insult and to try to push people out is really disturbing. But when you talk about it, people's main response is, well, what do you expect?
Yeah.
And that is something that I think needs to kind of have a little more of a spotlight put on it.
Yeah.
And it's obviously a minority of people.
It is.
And it's just crazy though, because we're letting this happen though, and we're letting these people be loud.
Yeah, we are.
And this is shared responsibility because it's not just, oh, that guy's making a comment. I'm like, but why are we as fans accepting that? There was a story going around on Threads that you probably saw about how an indie author was at Nexus.
Yeah.
And talked about the guy that was going around to the booths, picking up people's books and criticizing their books in front of them.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And my first thought was, why did you spend $180 on a ticket to do that? But also, like, we were just letting that happen. We're just letting things like that happen. And I think for a lot of people, though, it's just kind of like you need to get called out on it. And people might not even, that guy knew what he was doing.
Oh yeah,
I
he was
think
a
there's
troll.
some things where, like, Reddit in general is always going to be a nasty space.
Yeah, I agree.
But I messaged you, when we were talking about what to talk about here.
Yeah.
And I made the comment that at least once a week, a guy will reach out to me and say, I love the Cosmere and I want to get my wife into it.
Mm-hmm.
What's your advice?
Mm-hmm.
And half the time they say, she likes romantasy or she likes, a Sergei Moss book or something.
Yeah.
And I always ask a few more questions because I do think there's a reading order that is the best.
Yeah.
Maybe not the right way, but the best. But also your starting point's whatever's going to get you into it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I recommend like Trust and Yumi a lot.
Yeah, they're great.
Or saying that, specifically like I want to get my wife into it. But I always say, what does she like? But I always kind of turn it on its head a bit and say, well, what are you reading in return?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's this idea of, and I don't think it's something where these men are like, I'm going to force all of my interests onto my wife.
Yeah, no, I get it.
I would hope that that's not the relationship.
No.
But I think it's, I want women to really get into this. That's great. But are you willing to give something else a try too?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. My wife's not really a reader. But you're not really a reader. No, you're not. But there are some things that I like that she likes, and there's a lot of things that she likes that that I like, and vice versa. If I phrase that wrong, whatever. But my wife was big into, and still kind of is into. She collected My Little Pony for a while, and so she would go to BronyCon, and I would go with her, and she's just like, well, you don't have to go with me. And I was like, look, this is something that you love, so I'll go with you. So I crash coursed. How many seasons of My Little Pony did I watch for BronyCon? Like 5 or 6 at the time.
Sorry, I still feel bad about it.
No, I loved it. It was great. It was spending time with you. I binged like 5 or 6 seasons of My Little Pony, just so that I could have some understanding of what was going on. But, she's like, you don't have to do this, but I did it for her. And I think that's what people need to start doing more of, like you were talking about, where it's like, yeah, you're asking her to do this, but what are you doing for that? Like, and I love that point. I love that point. I was just trying to share that story. I
and
got off on it.
Great. And and I think back on it, and all the books I hated that I read for men in relationships.
Yeah.
I mean, I once, years ago, when I got dumped, and first of all, I was sad.
Mm-hmm.
But then my second thought was, I don't have to finish Dune.
Fair.
Because I was reading it, I was halfway through, and I hated it so much.
Yeah.
And I tell people, I'm like, I don't think I'd recommend the Cosmere to most of my friends.
Yeah.
And it's because I know it's not for everyone, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But there were also so many different things and vibes in there where you can like Tress or you can like Yumi and not read anything else.
Mm-hmm. And that's fine. Like, if you just want to read standalones, that's great. Like, and that's another thing too. Like, when you get into these fandoms and you see everything that there is, like, it's very overwhelming, like we were talking about earlier, with how much there is. Like, just pick and choose like what you want to read. If you just want to be strict Mistborn, do it. Strict Stormlight Archive, just do it. Like, people ask myself and other members of our team here, especially like when it comes to Star Wars, they're like, well, what should I read? What interests you? And that's what we ask. We go, what interests you? Like, okay, so you're about the Sith. Okay, well, I'll give you recommendations of this. Like, oh, you really enjoyed The Acolyte. Here's the High Republic. Like, shoving all those books at you. Like, I want to read sequel era stuff. Like, I really love the sequel trilogy. Cool. Here's a few books that are in the sequel era. I love the prequels. Great. Here's some books from there. And then like they ask about old canon and new canon, and I tell them whatever you want to read, read it. Just read it. And don't listen to people that are like, well, you're not a fan if you like this, or you only read this, or you only watch this. No, a fan is a fan. Like I tell people all the time, I've been lucky enough to go to Galaxy's Edge a couple of times at Disney World. And a lot of people are like, wow, I'm so jealous. I hope that I could, I really want to go. And I say, look, if you get the chance to go, go. But if you don't, that doesn't make you any less of a fan. You are still a fan, even if you can't go to that thing. I can't make it to Nexus. Doesn't mean I'm less of a Brandon Sanderson fan.
Yeah, and I think as the fandom, to me, it's still a surprise that like people know him.
Yeah.
To me, like he's still this pretty like new, right? I still think of him as Brandon 17 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And so the fact that there even is a Nexus blows my mind. But as I said, it was interesting because I put myself in this space and then was like, whoa, okay, like this is a big space. I didn't even know people were making Cosmere content. I'm like, I'm going to put memes out here and no one's going to see it. Because nothing was coming across my feed before.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting. And I think one of the things that's worrying me about this fandom right now is there's a lot more stuff than there used to be.
Yeah, I agree.
Like there's a Dragonsteel store, there's Nexus, there's all these different things. There's leather bounds, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm very upfront with, I don't own a leather bound and I don't think I will own a leather bound.
I agree.
And I have a bunch of reasons for that. And a lot of them are just like, that's not the sort of thing that I really value.
Yeah.
For me, like I want to be able to read it and mark it up and all that. And when people have them, they're beautiful. I love the art. I think they're great. But I think we're starting to see a slide into more of a fan-pushed consumerism.
I agree.
Than anything else. I'm kind of concerned about what these annual secret projects might be doing to that. But I'm seeing a lot of it of people who are telling me that they feel like they're not a real fan because they don't have a certain thing.
Yeah.
And that's not something Brandon's doing, like the Dragonsteel team. Like, it's not like they advertise really outside of his page. And even then they're not, doing photo shoots.
Yeah.
With the sweaters. And I'm just getting concerned because it's something I'm hearing more of. People are like, well, I don't have a leather bound.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing too. Like, I also saw it a lot with the Words of Radiance leather bound when they had the Isles of the Emberdark release with it, like where you could pledge for the leather bound to get Isles of the Emberdark. I just wanted Isles of the Emberdark. I wasn't going to get the leather bound. But a lot of people, even them, were like, oh, so I have to pledge this thing to get Isles of the Emberdark. And I'd say, no. You can wait till February when this thing hits in bookstores. They go, well, I want to read it now. Okay, well then pledge for the ebook, but don't like suffer from this consumerism FOMO that just because you didn't pledge this thing doesn't mean that you're not a fan. Like I'm seeing that more and more. Like the Kickstarter for the Hoyd storybook collection is going to happen next month, starting like next month. I don't think I'm going to pledge to that. I'll just wait. It's cool, but I think I'll just wait.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of potential issues that his team is doing a pretty good job at mitigating.
I agree.
But I think the problem is the year of Sanderson kind of opened a can of worms.
It did.
And now there's this pressure to release something around Nexus every year that they did address at Nexus.
Yeah.
And I'm worried about it because you have a lot of people who are feeling like, oh, am I not a real fan because I have them all on my Kindle?
Yeah.
And there's things like that. I mean, I've been told multiple times that I'm not a real fan because I didn't listen to the audiobooks.
Some people just don't do it.
I'm like, I've never thought I'd be told I'm not a real fan because I read a physical book. But But it's crazy. And I'm like, I feel like we're trying to divide ourselves right now too much.
Yeah, we
instead
are.
of coming together.
That's definitely what's going on in the Star Wars community right now too. As a Star Wars fan, like there's this divide with consumerism, especially because next year is a big Star Wars celebration for the 50th anniversary for the franchise. And I was going to try to go, but then I said to myself, you know what? I'm probably not going to be able to make it. Doesn't mean I'm not a fan, because plus I also don't want to deal with 100,000 other people in LA Convention Center in April and not possibly only get to like one panel that I want to go to. Like that to me does not sound like fun. And then you get that mentality where people are like, well, you didn't go to Celebration, you're not a real fan. Then you get people who trash the sequels all the time. The Last Jedi happened 9 years ago. Can we move on? Can we move the hell on from this movie? It happened. Get over it. You know, Rise of Skywalker was 7 years ago. It happened. Get over it. Like, you have all these people still bringing up all of these things. And if you like the newer Star Wars stuff, you're not a fan. You're a Disney Star Wars fan, or you're a shill, or all these other things. And if I am taking this out of context, I apologize.
No, because when I think of gatekeeping, honestly, like Star Wars is the first thing that comes to mind. And it's because, and again, it's one of those things though, where you go online, you're like, is this a majority opinion or are these just really loud people?
It's loud people that just need to touch grass.
And then, I mean, there's a reason why like Star Wars incel is a term.
For sure. I will not, I got a bunch of hate comments and stuff when I first started doing this, saying that I was a shill and that I was paid by Disney. To which I responded, if I'm getting Disney money, I'm sure as hell not doing this podcast. Like, if I'm getting paid by Disney, I'm doing something else. Like, yeah, the minute you start being positive about it, they call you a shill.
And it's just like, and I mean, that's not something that I think I'm ever going to get like accused of, but it's just crazy. I like a few months ago, I just had a night where I was on a walk and I saw a comment and I just like was done. And I went into my profile, changed all my profiles to just say, it used to say, just welcome to my totally unhinged theory. Still says that, but I wrote a Cosmere content creator because that way every single time someone tried saying, oh, you're not a Cosmere content creator, I could be like, you know, whatever. And I put on Threads, I posted that I was like, you know, I use these books to get through like a really tough time in my life.
Yeah, I remember
childhood. And now 17 years later, for people to tell me that I'm not a fan or I'm not a part of this fandom is like really insulting. Like, hi, I don't care if you know if you like that I'm here or not. I'm here and I'm making this content. You can get over it.
Yeah. That's the thing. People need to get over these loud voices that are in this, because here's the thing. If you want to be a Star Wars fan or if you want to get into it, just ignore those people. Just ignore them. And even if they try to come for you, block and move on. Just block and move on, because there's something there for you to enjoy and you just need to find it. Like, you loved The Acolyte. That to me is awesome. And here's the thing. Even though you claim you're a casual Star Wars fan, you're still a Star Wars fan, even if you liked the one thing. Like, that makes you a Star Wars fan. And to me, just block them out. Like, you have a space here. You have a space here. You can come on here and talk about whatever the hell you want. And I will gladly allow it, because that's what communities need to be, especially in fandoms. I see it in the Cosmere fandom. Like, I look at Cosmere Mo, I look at all of these people and how like they all just come together to celebrate these things. There's no gatekeeping there. That I've seen from them, but I've seen some with the Cosmere also. But yeah, just block them, just ignore them, just whatever. Because you know what I realized, especially with Star Wars fans, the ones that are pissed off at all of these story decisions, it's because it's not matching up to their headcanon. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely. Especially when people are like, oh, that's not canon, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, George Lucas didn't drop the entire canon of Star Wars on your desk 50 years ago.
No. And we actually had this conversation a little bit at our panel at Farpoint. Was I said, look, if you're looking into getting into canon, which is anything from, I think, 2013, 2014 on to current day, that's cool. If you want to do that, that's cool. If you consider that canon, awesome. If you consider the old EU canon, awesome. If you consider a mixture of it both canon, awesome. Whatever is canon to you is what's canon to you, but don't ruin it for somebody else. Do not ruin it for somebody else. And I look at that with the Cosmere too. Like if I just want to read Hoyd's stories, which he's in almost everything, but you know, if I just want to read the secret projects, just let me read the secret projects. And don't tell me I have to read Stormlight in order to understand this thing. Like, just let me enjoy it.
Well, and for me, like, I don't care really about the comments, right? Like, I roll my eyes at them. Like, it takes a pretty high bar for a stranger on the internet to face me. And so far, we haven't really reached that.
Yeah.
Unless someone's just being outright, like, homophobic, right? And, but I think, like, okay, well, how many people are reading that comment before I found it and, you know, hit it or whatever? And how many people might stay away because they see those voices? And so for me, that's what bothers me more than anything.
Oh, I'm the same way. Yeah.
But I also know that if I were to have you read my material and post my material, you'd get a completely different set of comments than I get.
Oh, yeah, because I'm a man. But at the same time, and I don't mean it like that, but
no, I mean, like, that's my point, you know?
Yeah. But at the same time, I'd rather just hear from the source, which is you.
Well, I'd rather just read it.
Yeah, me too.
But it's crazy because then, you know, but you also have people where you can literally quote something at them and they'll tell you that Brandon is wrong about his own canon and world building. So there's that, but
that happens all the time in Star Wars.
And I just think it's, you know, it's unfortunate that happens, but we really just need to stop letting this fly.
The only gatekeeping that we should be doing in our fandoms is keeping the pieces of garbage out of our fandoms.
Exactly. Yeah, I think I shared a comment someone sent me. It was either that or a DM where they were like, oh, keep your gatekeeping feminist, you know, self out of our fandom. And I really wanted to change my profile to say gatekeeping feminist because I love that so much. But I'm like,
you should.
And I'm like, if me saying that you being this very specific behavior is problematic is somehow me gatekeeping you from this fandom, please reevaluate your life choices.
Yeah. Fair. I get it. Yeah. I mean, we should be keeping the homophobes out. We should be keeping the racists, the sexists, all of them out of our fandoms. That's the only gatekeeping we should be doing. And oh yeah, also the whole woke thing too, like getting tired of hearing that too when it comes to fandom. Like, oh, it's woke now. Really? Did you not watch those original movies?
Like, my thing is, like, have you not read anything Brandon has actually written and looked at the causes he donates to? The ones who think that he's somehow being held hostage by Dragonsteel and forced to write things crack me up, because I'm like, that's why he donates to Blue Super PACs. His charity donates to the Prison Book Project. He's supported and like literally sent out like newsletter blasts to get people to donate to LGBTQ led projects.
Well, that and the coin, the challenge coin that he created for Nexus, the suicide hotline challenge coin, like
I watched that man tear up on stage talking about how he wishes he could have like reached people in time.
Yeah.
With the right message, and like hearing about these stories like devastates him. And I'm like, you're telling me, I mean, he talks so much about how he respects romance writers more than anything else.
He does.
Because he's like, their marketing is genius. Everyone needs to
Mhm.
look towards romance writers to see how you should be doing marketing and how you should be writing.
Well, that and he even said in that 2024 speech, like you said earlier, romantasy is a gateway to his stuff and to other fantasy things. Like, you read romantasy, oh, there's romance in Lord of the Rings, or a little bit of romance in Lord of the Rings. That's cool. Maybe I should check this out. And you create more fans.
But at the same time, that's also like challenging the people in that fandom to like branch out too, like in the Cosmere fandom to branch out.
It
Like
is.
I said, with these men who ask me like, how do I get my wife into it? I always say, I'll always get that advice, but I will always say, like, please read something she has asked you to in return.
I agree.
And half the time it's, oh yeah, we already have that lined up.
Mm-hmm.
And the other half, it's like, well, why?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But don't question it. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. Like, yeah. I mean, I think that when it comes to husbands trying to get their wives into the Cosmere, Tress is a great place to start because it's Princess Bride, and who doesn't love the Princess Bride?
Like Princess Bride fan fiction that he wrote for his wife.
Yeah, that was
Like,
the book.
it doesn't get more romantic. I have a Tress art print on my wall. Okay, that's how much of a Tress girly I am.
It's a really great book. It is a great book, and it's the funniest Sanderson book I've ever read.
Yeah, it's pretty great. It has a lot of great messages, I think. And then one thing that I've been thinking a lot about is, especially at Nexus, and you look at the Cosmere does have worldwide appeal.
Mm-hmm.
Just from my numbers, 1 in every 20 people who watches one of my reels lives in Spain, for example.
That's pretty cool.
But I only really, I look at the fandom and I'm like, I'm only seeing people who are Caucasian.
Yeah.
And so then I wonder, I'm like, okay, am I doing something, or as fans, are we doing something unintentionally gatekeepery?
Yeah. Yes, I get that a lot too. I feel that way a lot because it's because we need to be inclusive about this. Like, we need to be more inclusive, especially not with just people of color, but with the LGBTQ plus community as well. Like, we need more allies. We need more supportive people. We need to bring in more people, more diverse people into our fandoms, and show their voices. Let their voices be heard, because that's how we grow. That's how we continue.
Yeah, and I mean, I try to be as openly out, like as a queer woman on my page as possible. And it's not like I'm like introducing myself in videos as like, hi, I'm Literary Trope, I'm queer. But the amount of like people who like come out to me in my DMs
Mm-hmm.
is astonishing. And there is like a very strong queer Cosmere community. And I think that they're a little afraid or hesitant sometimes to be like too much out publicly in there. But I'm telling you, they are eating up the fan fiction game. And Brandon, the joke like I have with a lot of people is really Brandon is extremely inclusive to the LGBTQ community, considering he keeps accidentally writing his main characters as bi.
He does. Yeah.
Like, completely unintentional. Like, everyone is bi. And when people ask him about that, he's never like, oh, no, they're straight.
Mm.
And that's the thing, too, credit him with, especially with like Shalon. Everyone's like, Shalon is completely bisexual. And he has said, that wasn't my intent when I started writing her, but like I see it, and yeah, okay, that's canon now. If that's the perception people are having, then she's definitely bisexual.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Go on. I was going to say something.
No, that was mostly just like it. And so, yeah, and I think that there's, just the perceptions of a fandom in itself can be gatekeepery. And so for me, I really want to create like a space where people can come and like be silly
Mm-hmm.
and be who they are. And we just need to make sure that like we are actively working to protect this community we have, and to like call out this gatekeeper and behavior when we see it, because it's not okay.
No, it's not. It's not. Yeah, I mean, I saw a little bit of it at Farpoint, just a tiny little bit of it at Farpoint, but like it ended up being squashed because there were a few people that were talking about they were Trekkies and they were talking about how like the new Trek just isn't as good as the old Trek. They think it sucks and all this other stuff, and I'm like, dude, stop! Like, just stop! Just go outside and touch some snow. It's like 15 below, but go outside and touch some snow. But yeah, it's one of those things. Like, yeah, our fandoms, we do need to call out the gatekeeping.
And that's my thing. Like when someone will leave certain comments, like I'm going to respond to those. A lot of people are like, don't ignore them. And I'm like, no, because if I ignore them, someone's going to scroll and they're going to see that.
Yeah. And then they're going to be turned off from that certain thing.
And, I've had people who leave like a homophobic comment. And sometimes I'll take a screenshot of it, put in my story and be like, you guys have at it. And I'll usually say something like, well, considering I'm queer, like this is the wrong place. And a lot of times they'll be like, oh, well, I feel betrayed. And then I hide the comment, but just like let people keep destroying them or things like that. But I think, yeah, it's definitely something we need to call out more. And people say, oh, ignore them. And I'm like, well, when you ignore them, sometimes they go away. But when you ignore them, sometimes they feel more empowered and to be louder. Yes. And then to go on and do this on someone else's content.
Yeah.
And with women now, all of a sudden, it's like, oh, you need to go. Like you said, like the whole like you need to go read Romantasy. And I'm like, why are you insulting a genre?
Yeah. There's a lot of men that read Romantasy too.
Right. And I mean, like Brandon reads Romantasy. And so, yeah, it's that. But like I said, like, for Star Wars, I think I'm kind of in a point where I'm like, okay, there's a lot of stuff out there. It's a lot more accessible now. But when I was in college, I was thinking like, oh, found out that there were books and all these other things. And this is before, right before Disney bought it. And I just got so overwhelmed with just seeing what was out there at the internet. And even, a guy I knew who was a friend in my dorms who just, was doing that gatekeeping role before you could even get into it.
Ugh.
And some of it was, well, there's just so much you're never going to catch up. And things like that. And I'm like, yes, anyone out here watching, like whatever fandom you want to get into, you do not have to prove you belong there.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Don't think that there's so much to catch up on. Like, read or consume what you want to consume. That's it. And then there are great websites like Wikipedia and like 17th or 7th Shard, like the Cosmere wiki and stuff. If you want to learn about it, you can just go there instead of reading the book, and it'll tell you.
And I mean, the people who run that and who do the Word of Brandon archive are just like they're out there like doing the Lord's work, right? And I always laugh because I finished White Sand and I knew who Chris was. And I went onto her page just to, kind of read a little bit because I read it on it. I read the graphic novel on a plane and all that.
Yeah.
And I feel like when you read something on a plane, it doesn't quite count.
Sometimes no. Yeah.
And I was reading through it, and sometimes, and my joke is I'll be reading through some of those entries, and I'm like, oh, we're just making up words now.
Yeah.
And it will be something I've never heard of or a character I've never heard of. And then you click on that page and it's like, oh yeah, they're this world hopper you've seen in 7 books. And it's, it's a lot, but it's just funny. And there's just always some, there's always another secret, but like, there's a reason why he has a team of continuity editors.
Yeah.
Whose literal job is to know this stuff. But, you're not, if you don't know there's a Condra in Stormlight Archive, you're still a fan.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know Vasher was Vasher in Stormlight Archive until somebody told me that was Vasher.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, I also didn't know that Vivino was in Stormlight Archive either.
It's hard. It's easy. Not easy. It's really easy to miss.
Yeah.
Especially if you haven't read Warbreaker recently.
Yeah.
I mean, I only read each Stormlight Archive book once up until the year before Wind and Truth came out, and then I read them all again for the second time.
Mhm.
And I was catching all sorts of things
Yeah.
that I never did the first time through.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, when I read Oathbringer, I caught Vasher pretty quick. I was able to clock Vasher when he had his little fight with Kaladin.
Yeah.
I think Vivina I didn't catch the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And then a friend was like, oh yeah, she's also in it. And that was because it'd been so long since I read Warbreaker that like I forgot who she was. I forgot she was a character.
Mm-hmm.
And so during that reread, I caught it. But
yeah. Well, even in Wind and Truth, guy from Elantris is in
Galadin?
Wind and Truth. Yeah, Galadin.
That's how I pronounce his name. I know the first rule of Elantris is you don't discuss the pronunciations in Elantris, but
yeah.
I mean, I caught that one, and I was like, have we seen him in the other books? Is this the first time I'm seeing him outside of Elantris? And that to me, like, that makes it fun.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of doubting anything about myself, I'm like, ooh, now I have a new mystery.
Yeah. Even the sorceress in Tress, she's from Elantris because she's using eons or aeons. Yeah. I was like, oh, that's really cool that she's using the aeonic magic. Like, so she's Elantrian. Well, they allude to it, but
you wouldn't, that's not information you need to know going in.
Yeah.
As you said, Tress is great. There's a reason it's in the starter pack. And of course, I've wondered if the starter pack has like deeper meaning about anything, and that's where my brain goes. But I think it honestly was just like, here's a short thing, here's a classic thing, here's a standalone.
Yeah. And the short thing is a great introduction to like the
Emperor's I mean, Hugo.
Yeah, I mean, it's my favorite of his short stories, honestly. Like, and for her to show up at like in Era 2 of Mistborn, like, just made me so happy too. As a Ghost Bloods operative, that was so awesome.
But I mean, I think one of the things that kind of makes me like, I don't say I hope, but like Brandon has been open about his own kind of imposter syndrome a little bit as a writer, about how he thinks he's a world building guy and not necessarily a prose guy.
Yeah.
Which in some of the earlier books is very apparent.
Yes. Especially Dragonsteel Prime.
Yeah. But I think sometimes I look at him doing interviews or panels with other members of the fantasy community, and you see them kind of like icing him out a little bit, and that makes me mad. But I don't know, I just think a lot about how he really became more of the household name because, of course, of finishing Wheel of Time.
Yeah.
And he was picked to finish Wheel of Time because he was a fan.
Yeah.
He made a blog post after Robert Jordan died talking about how much Wheel of Time meant to him. It was never on anyone's radar, and that blog post got him that job.
Yeah.
Because people saw the passion in
it. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. I mean, but that's another thing. Like, if you share your passion for these things, you never know what doors will be open.
Yeah. And I love seeing on threads, like every single day I go on there, my algorithm is showing me people saying, oh, I just started Mistborn, what should I know? Or, doing their very first reactions. And I love going into the comments, and I just like lurk on those sometimes. Because I don't want to say like, I don't want to be weird. And I'll like stuff, but I don't want to be that person who's like, you're going to love it on like 50,000 things. But
like, actually,
right. Because I'm very like sensitive to like, I don't ever want to feel like I'm doing like self-promotion. Like, I just genuinely want to interact with people.
Yes.
And so, and I try to do like meaningful comments, but I'm just like, it's cool to see people get into it, but not just that, but someone will post that within an hour. There's like 12 comments from people cheering them on.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. So before we get going, I need to ask you, what is your next Star Wars thing that you are going to attempt to watch or read or what have you?
I think, honestly, I feel like I've been in the mood lately for a Bad Batch rewatch. And I
Yes.
know that's not really the answer you're looking for, but
Oh
I
no,
ask
I
a
love
lot
it.
of people because, like, The Mandalorian doesn't interest me because The Mandalorian just feels like fan service. I only watched
It
the first
is.
season. It just felt like fan service.
It is.
Ashoka, I have some issues going in
Okay.
with. And then I look at some of the other things and I'm like, there's a lot. Like, I don't know if that's really like my vibe. You know,
hmm
I want another version of like the Acolyte, right? Or I want
hmm
to do, what WandaVision did to Marvel. And those are kind of the
Yeah.
more like types of properties I'm interested in. And I don't want to really define it as highbrow, but like it is a little more highbrow.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to, I don't know, to experience more of, but like stuff that's
Mhm.
just like it's fun and it's unique. And I mean, like the Batch was so good.
It
And that
was.
show took risks.
It did. It did. I will say this with that show, that first season was rough to get through, like the first half of that first season, because I felt like that show suffered such an identity crisis. But once they found their footing, when they started dealing with the clone rights issues, I loved it. Loved it.
Or maybe I'll just watch Andor again.
Andor's so good.
That's always another excellent route. But I don't know. I don't like Star Wars properties that just feel like fan service or pandering.
Did you watch Skeleton Crew?
I watched the first two episodes and then it like slipped off
Okay.
my like keep playing list. Like I forgot I was watching it
Yeah.
until you brought it up. But I watched two episodes months ago and then it just hasn't shown up anywhere on my Disney Plus page since.
I think you might like Skeleton Crew. It's very silly. It's very fun. It's very like it's very 80s movie inspired. Like yeah. Um did you have you watched Rebels?
No, I've heard good things about it though.
Okay. Yeah, Rebels is really good, especially if you liked Bad Batch. I think you'd like Rebels a lot. It's my issues with Ahsoka kind of stem from Rebels as well, a little bit, but we can talk about that off of here. um, there's the new Maul series coming out too, which is going to be really cool. I think that's going to be animated, and then they did the Tales of short series as well. So there's Tales of the Jedi, Tales of the Empire, and Tales of the Underworld, and those are really good too.
Yeah, I think I don't want to say like I don't want to be watching something that just seems like Easter eggs or fan service. And
Yeah,
that's why
yeah,
I liked Acolyte, but I didn't like the ending shot of Acolyte for that reason.
yeah. Well, my favorite part of the Acolyte is when she bleeds the kyber crystal in the
Yes, that was
lightsaber.
such a great scene.
Yeah, yeah. That lightsaber is actually available at Disney, and you can change colors of the blade on the hilt, so you can actually make it go blue to red.
It's so great.
And
And that made people so mad though.
yeah,
But it was so cool.
A lot of things from that show made people mad. Don't even get
And
me
then
on
people
the
somehow aren't mad about the Christmas special.
Yeah, we don't talk.
Redirect that energy.
We don't talk about the holiday special. We don't talk about that. You mean the Lego one, right? Yeah, that one's great.
Yeah, totally.
the Lego one. Yeah.
You know what
Not
I
the
think my
live
next
action
Star Wars
one
thing
that
is going to
happened.
be? I think my next Star Wars thing is actually going to be a video game. Because I've heard that they're very well done.
Jedi Fallen Order, I think you'd really enjoy.
Okay.
I think you'd like that one. Survivor is the Jedi Survivor's the sequel to it, and that one's really cool too. Outlaws, actually, no, I think you'd be more of an Outlaws fan. That one's really cool. Yeah, Hondo from Clone Wars shows up in it in some DLC. It's great. It's great. That's
Is Captain Rex in anything? Because I am a Captain Rex girly.
God. You're right. Okay.
Uh-oh. Is that Judgment that
I
got there?
think is briefly in one of the Battlefront remakes.
All right.
No,
I'm
no. There's no
gonna
judgment
watch
here at all.
some of these like
No,
Stars properties. I'm
think
like, where is Captain Rex?
Okay.
Oh,
when
You froze on me,
when
sorry.
Anakin shows up in the World Between Worlds, he's in that one episode in the background.
I thought you were just thinking about this for a
but no,
long
Rex
time.
is not in any games. Yeah, no, you froze on me too.
Okay, yeah, I thought you were just really thinking hard.
No.
Or that I stumped you. I'm like, did I insult him accidentally?
Yeah. No,
Did I just like
no,
stumble
you did.
upon some
I'm
like
offended. You're never coming
sleeper
back.
agent phrase? Sorry.
You're never coming back. We're done.
I know,
We're done.
see, I know it is. This is it.
Yeah. How dare you? This is your first and only time here.
I know. I passed the Muppets
Never
test, but I
messaging you
failed this.
I'm unfollowing you tomorrow.
Follow blocked reported.
Go ahead.
Unfollow blocked.
You passed the Muppets test,
reported.
but not the Star Wars one.
First test.
Rex actually is not in any video games that I know of.
Okay.
Yeah.
But now I know that.
Yeah.
So I know not to have that expectation.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize that Captain Rex was going to set something off in you.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a backstory here. Like some tragic family secret.
Yeah. And if you play Battlefront 2, No. I was just trying to. Yes,
Okay, no, I'm seriously concerned that I accidentally did something.
You're cutting in and out just a little bit.
So are you, which is trying to make me figure out, like, if.
Hold on. Give me 1 second. I don't know what's going on here. Okay, I think we should be good. I think we're good. Okay.
Honestly, it's super windy here.
No,
so
there is no tragic Captain Rex backstory.
Okay. It's not like your mom left your dad for like Captain Rex and you never saw her again.
Second. Give me 1 second.
All right, guys. So now that we're unsupervised, apparently the tragic Captain Rex backstory is here. Is this? Oh, now there's two of you. Just kidding. Oh, shoot. We're supervised again. I was committing all sorts of FCC violations while you were gone.
I think I'm back.
I see you.
I think I'm back. Anyway, we should probably cut this off. That way we can just off here. so we're gonna end it here. That way you and I can just continue this conversation off here because I don't know what's going on. But sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. All right, that's it for us this week. We will be back next Sunday with our RPG. So stay tuned for that. Once again, Literary Trope. Thank you for joining me. And we will see you all very soon.
Yeah, thanks for having me.